What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to White Whale Fishing. It is good to be here. I've been gone for a minute. Work has been crazy. Polar vortex, pipes breaking all over the place, helping people restore their lives. But I'm with you here today because ice out is finally starting to happen. It's 61 degrees here today. Was outside, shorts, t-shirt, kids running around, doing lawn work. And that means that we're gonna be hitting the water soon. If you guys are into swim baits, if you're thinking about swim baits, big ones, smallmouth, largemouth, you might like this. I've got a whole box of new swim baits that I'm looking forward to showing you guys. Let's jump in. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we're gonna break down baits and we're gonna start small and work our way big. So first and foremost, we've got the Mega Bass Hazadong Shad. This color is green pumpkin shad. These are smallmouth killers. These baits are actually designed to be fished on a drop shot. All right, guys, so we picked up two different colors of the Hazadong shad. Here's that green pumpkin shad that we were talking about. Here's an up close and personal look. Green pumpkin on top, pearl belly, fantastic 3D eyes. And we picked up a secondary color, and this is called Ghost Shad. Now, this is labeled as a 3-inch bait, and it very well may be, but I really want to show you guys how small this bait is compared to a 3.2-inch swim bait from 6 Cents. Just so you guys have an idea of how small and narrow these baits are. That's why I think they can be so effective on a drop shot. Even with such a light weight, that tail is just gonna swim. We'll be rigging them on a drop shot in the river for smallies. We'll also be rigging them on that Okashira screw lock head. Oh yeah, I picked up a couple new dark sleepers. I've fished the 3-inch version before, but I've never fished the 2.4-inch version. If you guys are not familiar with this bait, this is supposedly a fantastic goby imitation and a sneaky sleeper smallmouth bait. It weighs 1/4 ounce. It's 2.4 inches long. This is the haze color, and it's already pre-rigged. As you can see, you've got your line tie there, and this dorsal fin hides the hook point in case you're curious. So as that fish comes up, engulfs the bait, the dorsal fin collapses, and then you can jack them. So that's your haze color, which to me is definitely a bluegill type imitation. So I think these will work for smallmouth also, or for largemouth also. And this is your wakasagi color. Again, spinning rod, 10-pound braid, 8-pound main line. Throwing this when the water is still in the 30s, probably not a bad idea. I would imagine crappie, big bluegill, and bass are gonna inhale this. Don't sleep on the dock sleeper. All right, moving on. KVD Perfect Plastics, Swimmin' Caffeine Shad. I've never thrown these, and I've been thinking about putting these on an A-rig. I've heard a lot of people talking about them. I'm familiar with this brand and familiar with other products that they make. This is that KVD Magic color, which has worked really, really well for me on drop shot rigs. So I was thinking about tossing this guy around in the creeks, in the rivers, and in some of the rock quarry ponds that I have. But I have a feeling that that is gonna look really good on a 1/4 ounce A-rig that I plan on throwing a lot in the next, my next couple of times out. If you guys have used the caffeine shad before, let me know, the Swimmin' Caffeine Shad, let me know what you think about it down low. I used the caffeine shad jerkbait, big fan of it. Hopefully these guys will produce. Mega Bass, more Mega Bass products, the Spark Shad, 4-inch. If you guys have been with the channel for a little bit, you know that I like to throw the Spark Shad. I picked up some colors that are new to me. This is called Purple Haze, and that is pretty slick right there. You've got a gray top fading into a purple, fading into like a purple pearl belly with red and purple flake throughout. I'm hoping that I'm really becoming a big fan of purple in my baits. And I'm really hoping that that is going to speak to the smallies in the river. And the second color that we picked up is called the Lemon Shad. This is kind of Megabass's take on the chartreuse blue swim baits. I've had good success on these. I have a feeling that these are going to work really well, especially in cold water. As that water warms up, bass are looking to feed up, and obviously they will be able to see that. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but you've kind of got this, it's pretty much chartreuse throughout, and then it's got this heavy line of like blue glitter up at the top, and it's got yellow flake throughout. We know that's going to stand out. I've heard that smallmouth can't stand chartreuse baits. I can't wait for them to not stand this bait so I can jack them in their jaws. All right, so this next bait is a bait that I've heard about in the swim bait line, swim bait culture, swim bait world for a really, really long time. This is a bait that the Babe is based on. This is, quote unquote, the greatest plastic swim bait ever used or ever created. It was made by Bass Pro Shops back in the day. They stopped making it. I was in a Bass Pro Shops and I saw some and I couldn't believe it. So I grabbed a bunch of them. Unfortunately, it's not the 6-inch size. It's the 4-inch size. But ladies and gentlemen, the XPS Swimmer. Yeah, the XPS Swimmer. Let's open it up, check it out. So, yep, I was not kidding. It is indeed the XPS Swimmer. It's pre-rigged. I've picked up a couple. We've got one here in shad. I think I've got one in perch, and I've got another one in bone. Let's open one of these guys up and take a look. So if you guys have been in the swim bait world for a while, you've heard of this bait. Kevin Baitman Baxter will talk about it. Everybody will talk about it. This bait won all kinds of, this is one of the baits that kind of got the swim bait craze kind of going. This just happens to be the 4-inch version of it instead of the big 6-inch version. Not sure if it's the same mold, but it's got a good tail wiggle. It's also got a really good head shimmy. If it swims like the Babe or if it swims like the XS Swimmer from 715 Baits, because I have both of those. I think this weighs about ½ of an ounce. It's pre-rigged. It looks like it's got a decent treble hook on it. And if I was going to throw this, what I would do is I would take this hook. Yep, it's even got a little slot where you can take the hook and you can kind of bury that treble up into there. So as it swims through the water, it swims like that. But we're definitely going to be throwing this in the rivers and hoping to jack on some smallies this year with it. There you go, XPS Swimmer. All right, keeping this thing moving. We finally decided to pick up some Zoom hollow belly, hollow body swimmers. These are the 5-inch Zoom swimmers. This color is called Chartreuse Blue. I watched a video last year of Alex Rudd and Caleb Bell smashing bass in the pre-spawn on Chickamauga, and this is what they were using. I've never thrown this bait. If you guys are not familiar with these, this body is hollow, this head is solid, so these are generally designed to be fished on like a top hook swim bait, a top hook swim bait rig where you've got a weighted head and the hook would come out the top. But that Zoom, that's a pretty sweet looking color right there. Reminds me of like a chartreuse gizzard shad, like that scale pattern in blue on top. You know, that chartreuse line down the side and then leading into that, you know, bright pearl, bright bone like belly with that glitter. But we're going to put these guys to work in the pre-spawn and see if they can get bit. There's that Zoom 5-inch swimmer. Weird side note, as I was packing these things up, dude, it smells like rotten cheese. All right, guys, we're down to 2 baits. 2 baits. You see that right there? The next couple of baits you're going to see are from them. Dream Smasher Swim Baits. Did a little video on this. This is their 6-inch shad. This is in a carp color. This is a pre-rigged top hook version. 1.5 ounce. Cold water bait. Local company out of Minnesota. I've done a swim test on these. These guys have a sweet little swim. Definitely more sturdy than a Huddleston, but still swims really, really well in cold water. And I just happened to pick up some of the weedless version. So this is the weedless version in holographic shad. That is pretty sweet. It's almost like it's not translucent, but it looks like it's translucent. You can see the flake in there, right? Purple and green and orange and all different kinds of stuff. Sweet little shad spot. There's your hook pocket for your owner beast hook, and this is going to get rigged up on a 10-aught or even a 12-aught owner beast. We're going to go full send with these guys here in the pre-spawn. I think this bait caught big bass at the Big Bass Bash last year. If you guys have not heard of Dream Smasher swim baits and you like throwing large soft plastics, I definitely think you owe these guys a checkout. Guys, here's the last baits we're going to be looking at today. Oh yeah. All right, guys, here they are, the 8-inch mag draft from Megabass. This is a swim bait where you need dedicated gear if you are going to be thinking about throwing this. Let's talk about some of the features. I think the Megabass products, the Spark Shads and the mag drafts, excel at moving better in cold water than most other swim baits. Why do they call it a mag draft? They call it a mag draft because there's a magnet here as part of the harness. Inside here, there's a magnet and it holds your hook. That way when you cast it out, your hook rides like this, bass comes up to engulf it, boom, they get the hook. Then the hook swings down and it's got a swivel. It completely swivels so the bass can't use the weight of the bait as leverage, and it also can't, just use a split ring to torque its way out of that hook. But this is the IU color, the colorway called IU, green top, silver sides, silver belly, nice little neon shad spot right there. That's pretty cool. 3D eyes. And not sure how many fish this is going to last. If this harness ever eventually comes out of this, we'll use some Mend It, and then we'll rig it on a 12-aught owner beast, and we'll have a weedless 8-inch mag draft. But again, 3-ounce bait. You need dedicated gear to throw this, guys. You can't be throwing this on just your everyday flipping stick. So this is the colorway IU, and this is the colorway Biwako Shad. Really, really, really like this. To me, this almost looked a little bit like a rainbow trout, and I thought to myself, has a bass ever seen a bait this colorway in my areas? I don't think so. It kind of looks like a big gizzard shad too, where it's kind of this goldish, greenish brown on top with that, pink purple highlight down the side. That is a Magnum treble hook, but that Biwako Shad colorway is pretty sick too. Eat me. You guys are still here? What are you doing? I'm done. This video's over. Get out of here. Go fishing. That's what I'm going to do. Peace.